You each introduce us to your characters in the film.
So Catherine is a diabolical megalomaniac. Uh, Very intentionally, she's somewhat inspired by all the other femme fatales that I've loved in cinematic history, whether it's Jean Tierney in Leave Her to Heaven, or Gloria Swanson in Sunset Boulevard, or Barbara Stanwyck in Double Indemnity. Last night I rewatched Glenn Close in Fatal Attraction, and Sharon Stone in Basic Instinct. She is an homage to all of those fabulously diabolical femme fatales, but she's a parody and she's a satire and she's a caricature and she's meant to make you laugh.
Yeah, and on to me. So my character Tyler is a small-time thief and con man who is just the nicest guy in the world, if you can excuse those parts. He comes across Catherine. He's being lured there, basically. He thinks he's looking for a room to rent. And he's swept away by this incredible, fantastic, and absolutely terrifying knockout of a woman. And love and romance ensue.
Yeah, Louise, you wrote this back in 2018. What was the inspiration behind the film, and how did it finally come to fruition?
Well, I really wanted to write like this shamelessly uninhibited character, and I also was inspired by American Psycho. I think Bret Easton Ellis is one of the most genius writers out there. I've always been passionate about all of his books and his film work. But I liked the specificity of Patrick Bateman in American Psycho, and I thought, hey, why not do this as a woman? And why not make a woman, I wanted to do like a gender switch where usually, the Wall Street types are highfalutin, high-powered men. I wanted a woman who was a boss and like had, fought her way tooth and nail to financial success to be able to, run a company that was made of, very unlikely types. Usually in these Wall Street firms, you see a lot of white men. I wanted deliberately for, her office environment to be extremely estrogen, women, diverse. And, she was just a dream. She was just a dream. And, the lines, just came to me, and I love comedy so much, as I said, I think my favorite movie is Airplane, and with Leslie Nielsen. I mean, I just love really wacky, farcical, anti-plot type movies. And so that's why I wrote it.
Yeah, and you've done it all in your career. What was it about this particular project and script that stood out to you?
Well, it was exactly that. It was the script and the character, I thought it sounded very brave, full of imagination, full of color. And it was something that I hadn't done. It was, the comedy, everything about it kind of felt to me like I was going to be doing something for the first time. And then when I met Louise and she shared her vision for the film and her enthusiasm, it felt captivating. It felt like it was the right step for me at that time. I mean, it would be the right step for me at this time. I'd do it all over again. I had an absolute blast.
I think that what people are going to see, which they maybe haven't seen before, is how much of a comic talent Ed is. He is so freaking funny, and so much fun to act opposite. We had so much banter and so much fun, both on screen and off. And he's just one of the funniest people I've ever met.
Over the course of the film, we see the impact that your characters have on each other. How did you guys prepare to tackle that journey? And what was that collaboration like?
There was a lot of rehearsal and a lot of kind of just ripping through the dialogue, ripping through the script, really understanding the twists and turns and the energy and the beats. It's really like a song, this piece. It really is a song and a dance throughout.
Yeah.
So once we kind of felt like we had a really good understanding of it, we went for it. And then, of course, all sorts of surprises happened along the way. And they were beautiful accidents, beautiful hiccups and stuff like that. And so that's what I felt kind of got us through. We were really just in this freestyle dance throughout the whole thing.
It really comes down to like sort of the chemistry and the energy. And we're good friends in real life. We we get along really well. And but I learned a lot from Ed about acting, because he's obviously had so much more experience than me on camera. So he was so helpful to me, and was very helpful to me as a first-time director as well. I mean, in many ways, Ed was like, a best friend and a co-pilot, and we really rehearsed and rehearsed and rehearsed, because what was important to me was the witty dialogue back and forth between the characters. One of my other favorite movies is His Girl Friday, where the double talk, quick speak is so engaging and so entertaining, and I love that, and that's what I wanted to bring into this film. And Ed just has the comic chops to just pull that off.
But Louise, not only are you starring in the film, you wrote, directed, and produced it. At what point in the process did you realize you wanted to wear all those different hats, and how challenging was that?
I wrote it, and that was the easier part. I was having so much fun writing it, and I just sat down for 2 weeks straight, knocked the script out, and my producing partner Kristen said, you need to direct this. And I said, what? I don't know the first thing about directing. I don't know how to direct a movie. She said, yeah, you'll be fine. So let's say it was a really steep learning curve. I learned a lot along the way. I made plenty of mistakes, but I learned so much, and ended up just having so much fun. I was very involved, I would say, mostly in the lighting and cinematography. The look of the film was extremely important to me. I wanted it to feel like Tron. I wanted it to feel like, an homage to the 80s. And so the blues, the pinks, the reds, the whites, the yellows, all of these colors, and the level of saturation on screen was very, very important to me. And obviously the costumes, I wanted them to be wild and fun. And so I was really involved also in the costume design.
And there's so many incredible one-liners in this film. Do you guys have a favorite moment that you're excited for your fans to see?
Well, we just kept laughing over the couch sofa, but I have a scene where I've got the bottle of wine and I say, I will Chateau Lafite out of this sofa. Out of this couch.
And exactly. I say sofa.
Yeah, and then she kind of shrieks away. But I don't know, something about that line. And then the what was it? The hose pipe, so whatever it was. There were a bunch, man, as you say. People will be quoting this film for a while.
I hope so. I hope so. I mean,
a lot of memes out there as well. So everyone can go and have fun with the memes.
There's so many memes and GIFs out there, and also I would say one of my favorite lines is, did you feed me a bunch of dudes? And my character says, no, I did not feed you a bunch of dudes. And then he says, it doesn't sound like you're being very authentic. And I say, well, 2 or 3, who's counting? And then he starts to vomit. And I say, oh, honey, do you need some Pepto for your tum-tum? And I feel like my friends and I can't stop saying things like that if someone has a tummy ache.
And then for you guys as artists, what was the biggest lesson you learned being a part of this project that you'll apply to future work?
That's a really good question.
I can jump in. For me as a director, I know that shot lists and storyboarding are the most important aspect of filmmaking, and really having as much preparation as possible, and having a very close relationship with your crew, and making sure that you're working hand in hand with each department, whether it's props, lighting, costume. You've got to have a great communication and a great relationship.
Yeah. I feel like I just learned so much, and I mean, but it was the overall thing, I think I was happy with the way I got through certain things, like the physicality of it, the quick banter, keeping concentration, all of those things. It was a real obstacle course of
physically and literally.
Yeah, but it was amazing.
With the film coming out this week, what do you hope audiences take away?
I hope that they take away that this is a fun movie and it doesn't take itself too seriously. I don't take myself too seriously. And at the end of the movie, I hope they feel a warmth and a love and a sentimentality. And I hope that they go away smiling.
Yeah, it's just like going to a party. You know, that's what I feel like it's like going to a party. It's like letting off, dancing and having a good time.
Yeah.